class, how's it going? Today I just want to spend a minute or two here talking about color, because those of you this is my painting class, I'm beginning painting class, you're going to be starting to work with color as you paint your extended still life painting. And what I mean by an extended still life painting is that it's going to be a painting you're going to spend about 2 weeks doing, just working on one painting to try to capture a still life that you created as accurately as possible. Now keep in mind, this is really important, that this is not a photograph. You're not creating a photograph, you're creating a painting. And a painting is made up in layers, it's made by your hand, you're not a machine, so it's not going to look like a photograph. It's going to be hopefully naturalistic, meaning that it will look like the objects that you're painting. You want to try to strive for a naturalistic color palette, so the things that are brown will look brown, the things that are orange will look orange, and things like that, okay? That's the goal. But you're not making a photograph. You want to render the space as best you can, the space between the objects. Watch my video on how to create space to try to understand that. You want to keep your space fairly shallow. You have a very clear foreground, middle ground, and background with the still life painting, okay? But I want to talk just 2 seconds about color, because you're going to start mixing color and using color. Now, remember that color, we have your color wheel, and so you have the primary colors on the color wheel, which are red, yellow, and blue. And then the kind of color system we're using, which is additive, you will create your other colors potentially out of those 3 colors. You also have other colors in your kit, so you can use those. But you could use your primary colors to create secondary colors, and then use your primary colors to adjust your other colors too. So like if you want your red to be a little bit less intense, you add a little bit of green to it, because green is the complement of red. The color wheel is organized, again, around starting out with the 3 primary colors and then the 3 secondary colors. And the primary colors, the two primary colors create a secondary color. So when you mix equal amounts of blue and red, you get violet, okay? If you mix equal amounts of yellow and red, you get orange. Then the color that is not part of that mixture becomes the complement. So orange, the complement of orange, which is a mixture of red and yellow, is blue. That's kind of how it all works. So you use the complement to sort of dull the other colors. So if you want to dull an orange, you want to paint like this orange or this hat here. So this gets me to the next thing about color. If I was going to paint my hat, okay, you want to look at the objects in your still life and ask yourself, okay, what color are they related to on the color wheel? Would you say that this was related to blue? No, not at all. It's more related to yellow. So as a base color, you could use yellow to start painting this hat. So you start out with a yellow and then you start to modify it. You say to yourself, well, it's not, is it a bright yellow? Is it, let me just grab it. Is it a yellow like that? No, not at all. That's like a primary yellow. It's not that yellow, so it's a duller yellow. How do you dull yellow? Add a little bit of the complement. What's the complement of yellow? Purple, violet. So you add a little bit of violet to the yellow and it dulls it down a bit. You can add a little bit of white and that helps dull the color down, helps change it a little bit. So that's kind of how you want to start thinking about color. You can adjust the color in a couple ways, by directly mixing the colors together. So you mix your purple, your violet right into your yellow, or you paint the yellow first and put a transparent wash of violet or other colors on top of that to dull it, to make it look more brown. So like this can of beer is kind of a pinkish color. What color would you say that is? That, I would say the kind of base color would be a red that's dulled down a little bit. You dull red down with a little bit of green. These bags. You say, what's the base color for these? It could be red or yellow, really, and then you adjust it accordingly. Okay? So does that make sense? That's the way to start. Okay, I'll